Can everybody hear us online? Are we good?
We can see Tracy. Can you
Yeah.
get a thumbs up, Tracy, if you can hear us? Oh, there you
Kevin,
go.
there you go.
Kevin.
Thank
Quiet,
you.
but I gotta make some adjustments, I think, on my end.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So we will start the meeting with the call to order and roll call. So if Don, if you could help us with the roll call.
Good morning, everybody. Brandon Elcuri on. Ron Anthony.
Here.
Julia Tella. Kim Britt.
Here.
Amber Brown. I did just see an email from her, which I'll check after this. Molly Bruner is here. Becky Bales. Michelle Frisbee. Kevin Glass.
Here.
Tracy Green.
Here.
Scott Halverson and Nick Henderson said they were not going to be here. Jake McClellan.
Here.
Kelly Mitchell.
Here.
Kurt Mortensen. Becca Muscat. John Priam. John Shiro.
Here.
Barb Weckman-Brecky. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Morning.
Morning.
Perfect timing. We're just doing roll call.
Little traffic.
And we have quorum. Yes.
Don, did you see Kurt just got it?
Yes.
You did.
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome. So we have a quorum, so we are good. Thank you, everyone. Next, we will look at start with the minutes. The minutes was sent out. Anybody have any questions or comments on the minutes after you reviewed them? Or updates? Hearing none, we will move on to the agenda. We'll do just a global approval of both of them. A slight adjustment to the agenda. Both Aaron and Sephra will not be here with CSG. They sent an email out this morning that they would not be able to make it. We will do just a quick update on 3, and Kelly will help us with 5. 4, we will be, we'll just strike off the agenda for today, and we'll maybe move that down. Aaron was going to reach out to the CSTS committee for us and give a better update on that. So we will push that off for next meeting right now. So with those adjustments, any other additions to the agenda? Hearing none, Don, if we could have a roll call or if we could have a motion, for the approval of the minutes and the agenda.
I move approval.
Thank you. Becky?
Second.
Kurt, thank you. Second. We have a motion and a second. Don, roll call, please.
All right. Ron Anthony.
Aye.
Kim Britt.
Aye.
Molly Bruner. Just stepped out.
Stepped out.
Becky Bales.
Aye.
Kevin Glass.
Aye.
Tracy Green.
Aye.
Jake McClellan.
Aye.
Kelly Mitchell.
She stepped out
Stepped out as
also.
well. Kurt Mortensen.
Aye.
John Priam.
Aye.
John Shiro.
Aye.
And that is 8 ayes and 2 abstains. Motion passes.
Thank you. We will move on to the discussion of the committee progress and feedback on it. I think you have the
I
spreadsheet.
do. I have it up.
if
Give
we
me
can
just
pull
1
that up.
second and I will share.
We're going to pull the spreadsheet up and we're just, Aaron was going to help us through this, but we'll kind of walk through it a little bit, see if there's any questions right now with it. And I do believe the spreadsheet was sent out with the packet of items. Can see you, Don. Perfect. So CSG helped us create the spreadsheet here. And Don had done some great work with it as well. And just kind of walk through the updates on all the committees and kind of where they're at. So this will be sent out prior to every meeting. It gives us kind of the task that they're dealing with, what committee it was assigned to. As you can see, the status that we're working on it, kind of the key activities, challenges they face, and then if there's any CSG, CSAC action that we need to look at as well. So today what we'll do is just kind of walk through it a little bit. If there's any questions related to it. I don't think, if I remember right, there was any significant action that we have to take based on these committees right now, based on this, but any feedback or questions on the form itself? Is this helpful for everyone? Seen some head nods, yep. So any questions on any of the committee updates? Don, if you could just maybe even walk through it just a little bit, just slowly, just see if there's.
Okay. So deliverable one, we've got develop ISR policy, which I know Jake is going to update us today on that. Second here to close some things so we don't have things popping up. There we go. We got the develop IPV policy. CSAC members and CSG Justice Center staff will meet with DV steering committee chairs in April to clarify the roles. I don't have any other updates besides that. Develop comprehensive outline for full set of supervision standards. The CSG Justice Center staff is in the process of compiling, analyzing the different supervision policies. The CSG Justice Center staff plans to share this progress. I don't see any challenges, and there's no action by CSAC currently. Then develop proposed prioritization and timelines for a full set of supervision standards. These are being compiled, and currently there's nothing for CSAC to do. Looking at deliverable 2, adopt the LSCMI as general risk and need assessment tool. Key activities, we're pending validation. And we're still waiting on an update for the vendor contract. Develop a policy used for pre-screener and or LSCMI. And CSG staff is actively collaborating with the RNA working group to define the scope and application criteria. They're looking for a blank policy draft and any relevant guidance they can get from DOC policy department.
We have on that one, I believe.
That one's already been taken care
It
of.
has, good. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Continue identifying statewide pre-screener for prohibition clients. CSG staff met with pre-screener subcommittee in January. There's no challenges or CSAC actions that are noted. Continue to consider and make recommendations for supplemental assessments for special populations. The CSG staff is working closely with RNA Working Group to develop and finalize a comprehensive document that captures all the offense-specific and trailer risk needs and assessment tools currently in use. There are no challenges noted and no CSAC action noted at this time. And then validate the LSCMI and pre-screener. They're awaiting contract execution. And then study and make recommendations for format integration on MinStar 3.0 for supervised release or ISR. There's no updates currently on that, nor are there updates on provide additional recommendations for supervision standards for misdemeanors not screened with LSCMI. And then we have reevaluate the LSCMI and pre-screeners every 5 years. Deliverable 3, develop a policy for case planning with moderate and high-risk clients. The framework has been developed with rationale research, proposed metrics for success, implementation consideration. There are currently no challenges noted and no CSAC action noted. Prioritize development of metrics to assess fidelity and outcomes. The initial framework is being developed. Challenges noted, coordination will need to continue between the committees, but there's no CSAC action identified. Submit progress report within 1 year of implementation, and no challenges there. Deliverable 5, gender responsive, culturally appropriate, and trauma-informed services. EPB Advisory Committee has established a subcommittee to address this deliverable. Currently, there are no challenges noted. And last month, they clarified that policies noted in deliverables 1 through 4 higher priority framework is appropriate for July. Deliverable 6, statewide behavioral response grid. The initial framework developed around simple behavioral response grid. Currently, no challenges noted, and there was discussion last month during CSAC. And May, June appears to be too aggressive, and it's important to include a menu of options for agencies, jurisdictions to choose from. Deliverable 7, performance indicators for supervision. No updates at this time. Deliverable 8, statewide training, coaching, and quality assurance systems. Develop a policy to require all agents ensuring training, coaching, and quality assurance for 5 EPB skill areas. Currently, they've reviewed the CSAC recommendations and commissioner's response, discussed what is going to need to be going forward. Challenges and needs, clarification regarding coaching and QA and what that might look like in a policy. There are some questions for CSAC. How to address differences in CSAC's original recommendations versus the commissioner's response as it's related to coaching and QA. And then how, do you want to go into that?
Yeah,
Yep,
Kevin has his
Kevin.
hand up.
Yes.
Was that?
Kevin has his hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin. I unfortunately can't see both on my screen, so.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, those questions were for the last time that they've been asked and answered, and so we're moving forward with creating policy draft right now. That's where we're at with that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Kevin.
And then there were no other updates on any of the other items for deliverable 8. There were no updates for deliverable 10, 11A, or 11B that were presented. So
Thank you, Don.
Yep.
As you can see, there's a lot going on there, and there's a lot that that we will be working on in the near future, because a lot of committees are working all the deliverables. They'll be coming back to us for approval of policies in the near future, I would believe. So any questions at all on the form, or how this looks, or just in general on questions on any of the deliverables in there? Seeing or hearing none, I don't believe we need a formal roll call or approval of the progress report. So we will then move on to, we will skip again number 4, move on to 5, and I'll hand it over to Kelly then.
I'm up. All right, so the LSCMI validation, this is a little bit of an update from what was on the form that we just saw. So I get to formally announce that the University of Nebraska Omaha is our vendor for the validation of the LSCMI. Zachary Hamilton, Professor Zachary Hamilton will be leading that work. And he is a, for anybody that knows risk assessment scholarship, he is one of the best. So I'm very excited that he bid on the project and is going to be moving forward. I had the opportunity to meet with him this week to just kind of talk first steps. He's already working with the DOC's research department on the data request for the information that he'll need to do the LSCMI validation. And I have a next step to create a little advisory committee between the delivery systems. I've already gotten names from CCA. We haven't gotten our act together within DOC to figure out who we're going to put on it yet. And I can't recall if I have talked to CPO about this or not yet. So if I haven't, I will be circling around to you as well. But that advisory committee will, just sort of help track along with some of the places where the vendor will potentially need some input from us. A key question, for example, is what type of recidivism are we looking at when we're trying to determine if it's correctly assessing the risk of reoffense. So that's the type of thing the advisory committee would work on. And then eventually a second phase of that project will be inter-rater reliability. So making sure that the agents who are scoring the LSCMI are doing that in a consistent way across the state. And we'll need some volunteers from each of the delivery systems to score test cases in order to give the vendor the sort of raw material data that they need to understand how we're doing on that front. So that will be another place where we'll need some input from folks across the system. I think that's about it on LSCMI validation. Questions or?
I think this will be just a comment in general. And this really falls into the kind of the supervision standards as we fit into that too, because it's interesting and this will be really good to have, I think, statewide. But that whole combination, we talk about the high needs and the medium, high risk, medium risk, and how it relates to supervision, and then doing the case planning. We within our office, we were going through looking at our levels a little bit, pulled out the LSCMI book, pulled in a lead trainer in the state for clarification. And it's just interesting because when you look at the what everybody county does and the state is a little bit different and on how they supervise them based on the risk levels and supervision levels. And even when you look at what the tool or the book recommends is different. They always say like the medium risk, you should be supervising as a low risk client. The high risk, you should be supervising as a medium risk client. And so we met with lead trainers and trying to vet through what does that mean and what does that mean with case planning and kind of get some feedback from them. So I think it'll be really helpful for us moving forward as we look at the validation, the supervision standards, and the case planning. All that will kind of fit together and help, I think, with it. So
I do have a question. If I
Yeah.
could. This is exciting, the University of Nebraska and the validate. I'm really excited. So I'm going to ask, do you know how long it would take approximately?
Yeah,
I'm impatient.
We did talk. We did
Just a
talk
minute.
about that because this is a project that has been severely delayed by the grant process.
Sure.
So the original bid was a 9-month validation project, and when I talked to the vendor, he thought 9 months was still doable. So that's starting really May 1 for him. That would be the beginning of that clock, and so that puts us, into about January, February, when he anticipates being able to complete that study. So we'll see. We'll see. Things never go. I think what's really great about having been a researcher, getting the data is the hardest part,
Sure.
and that is going to be easy. So that is really going to make it a project that can be done within the time frame that we have. Our research department has been waiting for the call, so they know that this is important and and are totally ready to get the data that the vendor needs. And in fact, as far as I know, they've already met this week, so that part won't be a problem. Other questions or considerations?
Was part of that was there a build out for trainers in that? I know maybe it's separate from the validation study, but with the grant was we had talked about this. I don't know where it was, but do they plan to build out master trainers out of that grant as well?
There is a provision in the grant for master trainer.
Okay.
I am not leading that piece, so I
Right.
don't know
Okay.
where we're at
It's
with
separate. It's separate from the study.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Thank
We
you.
currently have one master trainer in the state, correct? And then we have a number of lead trainers.
Yeah, I think Joe Arvidsson was, but he's since retired. I think Joe was a master trainer.
I thought we had somebody.
Fun fact, I am too.
Oh, you are?
Oh, you are too. Yeah.
What's your
Okay,
number?
so then-
Write that
Little
I should've
fun
just
fact.
called you
You
first.
could, yeah, you
Well,
could have called me.
get the mileage ready.
Yeah, right. But my accessibility is such
Right.
that
Yeah.
is, yeah.
You're expensive.
But I thought I heard Stephanie Bulow just finished up as.
It's
the-
definitely, okay.
That's
I know.
As part of the grant, I thought too, so
Okay.
that she was the identified person.
Perfect.
but
Okay.
Somebody might want to double check. I'm not on that committee.
I would, that sounds right. When we met with the lead trainer out of Wright County, they mentioned there was one master trainer in the state. I don't think they mentioned your name, so maybe we weren't aware of that.
I haven't been too active, so.
Yeah. That sounds right.
All right. Any other questions or questions on the LSCMI validation? Okay. I think we'll go ahead and move on to the next item then, which is ISR transformation policy update. I'm going to hand it over to Jake, who's been working on incorporating any revisions that people
Yeah.
have sent.
I'm just gonna share my screen here. I've highlighted some more of the substantial changes that we've had with this, which isn't a lot. We've had
If I can't hear your echo, then they probably can't hear you. on mine.
yeah, I'll get a little closer. So this is our second go around with feedback. I've also submitted to all of our policy coordinators within Department of Corrections. So with a multitude of business units to obtain feedback and receive. Primarily, it's hey, you said caseworker and case manager. Which one is it? Caseworker. So mostly wording that didn't impact anything substantially. So highlighting some of the major changes here within the definition of intensive supervised release. What was missing there was our level 3s by statute have to remain on intensive supervision as a level 3, as long as they're a level 3, or if they get a risk level reduction prior to their expiration sentence, then they can be moved off of intensive supervision. So they remain on ISR. So we want to make sure that language was highlighted here. MDT, it was just more of the way it was worded. I'll just go back up. It was more or less defining what is MDT. It's an incarcerated person, multiple DOC staff, community supervision staff, including the caseworker, and that process. In the release planning section A, adding agents are encouraged to include these individuals in virtual meetings. This is pertaining to the 60 days prior to release, having contact with the individual incarcerated person or client, and then in engaging those folks in the community that are going to be a support system, and we're essentially encouraging them to participate in that release planning to facilitate more smooth transition from release. Going down to I think we just cleaned up the language here in regards to monitoring. The way it was worded is like I had some supervisors kind of say, well, it makes it sound like you have to have them on for 90 days. Well, if it believes that they should remain on 90 days or more. So we just kind of worked with the language a little bit, more or less saying after 90 days of electronic monitoring, there should be a review process. Is the individual complying with their schedule? Are they complying with supervision? Are they engaging in risk reduction behaviors? If no, and if there are accountability issues, then that's between the supervisor and the agent to make the conversation and document the reasons to maintain electronic monitoring. Moving down to procedure B6, adding in here just another layer that we had discussed with ISR supervisors and agents and that implementation team that we created that kind of helped dial in these standards. We say what is when it comes to making a decision regarding when to increase, decrease intensity, just more or less defining, their adherence to approved schedule, monitoring violation behavior, and programming compliance. Just not a big substantial thing, but that is just kind of what are we looking at when we're making a decision for intensity reduction for an individual. Adding in for transition planning, feedback from I know Becca and Liz from Victim Services, just making sure we're keeping any victim concerns in scope as well when making a decision to early transfer somebody off of ISR. And then the supervised release board essentially just pulled it out of the supervision standards and made its own section. Nothing's changed in relation to the language here. I just created its own procedure in relation to communicating with the supervised release, communicating with the executive offer, HRU and SRB, which is currently Becky Holmes Larson. And as far as the language there, it's consistent with what it was before. At this point, this policy is sitting with our department legal team, and so we essentially have two tracks this is going on. This is through the Community Supervision Advisory Committee. We also have our policy approval process. So this is their first go around with this. So we're kind of, how do we do that? We make changes, changes are happening, changes do happen. And I think the important piece is communicating changes as they come. So right now, having gone through MACAC, MACPO, DOC review, it's going through our legal department. I'm here today to say, are we good for CSAC to approve this policy? And then what the next step would be our legal and then executive council, which would be the commissioner signing off on the policy.
All right, so any additional feedback or questions related to the policy? All right. Well, then I would entertain a motion to approve the ISR policy and move it forward for adoption to the commissioner. Anyone want to make that motion?
Does it need, Jake mentioned was going to legal. Does it need to go through there first, or are we okayed with approving it? We are.
We're okay.
I'd make that motion then to approve.
All right, so John Shiro makes that motion. Do we have a second? Second. Second by Barb. Any discussion on the motion?
Not a major thing, but in paragraph 8, subparagraph triple I, there appears to be 2 triple I paragraphs in it.
In procedure.
Pardon, on transition planning.
Oh.
Or maybe that's a version I'm looking at, not yours.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Thanks, Commissioner.
We're going to send all the policies to Kurt.
Yep. You're the man now. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I can make that change if everybody's comfortable with that change provided.
Excellent catch. Any other discussion on the motion? Hearing none, do you have that motion, Don?
I do.
All right, if you could read the roll on that. please.
Ron Anthony,
Aye.
Kim Britt,
Aye.
Amber Brown,
Aye.
Molly Bruner,
Aye.
Becky Bales,
Aye.
Michelle Frisbee. Michelle,
Can you hear me?
I can.
Hello?
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay, aye. Sorry.
Kevin Glass,
Aye.
Tracy Green,
Aye.
Jake McClellan. Aye. Kelly Mitchell,
Aye.
Kurt Mortensen,
Aye.
Becca Muscat,
Aye.
John Priam,
Aye.
John Shiro,
Aye.
Barb Weckman Brecky.
Aye.
And we have a unanimous vote.
All right, with that, the motion is approved. Thank you very much. And then, Jake, I don't want to let you off the hook because I know, would you mind giving an update on sort of the training and where the ISR conference is and all of that stuff as well?
Yeah, so the ISR conference is scheduled for May 21st and 22nd. So the rollout plan, I met with our ISR supervisors yesterday to dial in. So what we're going to look at doing is breaking this policy into 3 sections: pre-release, supervision, and transition. With all of that, we are building in scenarios specifically to kind of challenge agents' mindset in relation to application of this policy. So we have some agencies that are going to be providing kind of vignettes, if you will, with agents and just some role play. The one downfall is breakout rooms in the place that we're at Camp Ripley is not conducive to doing nice breakouts and doing, but it's going to be a large group, but providing scenarios with some key questions to follow up. What would you do differently in this situation, and who else would you include in this release planning? So we're going to provide some video scenarios. I'll be creating also some written scenarios in relation to the 3 different sections to kind of help plug in the changes of this policy into practice, more or less. So so we have all of our agency supervisors and staff that are participating with that process, and then we'll have an hour and a half to kind of really roll this out and apply the policy to practice with the agents at the conference.
Excellent. Any questions about that from anyone? Okay, you're still on deck, Jake, because the next item is an update on the workload study.
Yes. So I consulted with Dan Tron, who is our program director, who's helping work with the contract. The contract is currently with the vendor right now and for review. So I think the checkered flag is ready to wave here soon. So we were working with specifically there's 3 phases to this process, and dialing in the work that's done in each of those phases. So I think we're nearing the finish line with this. We'll hopefully get any feedback from the vendor, and if there's any changes to the contract, we'll make those and then move that through our Department of Admin for finalization. So I think at the last meeting, one of the questions was, from a leadership team, is getting ahead and establishing our leadership team sooner, even before we have the contract fully approved, so we can schedule that first leadership meeting right away with the vendor.
So MACAC has an update on that. We did discuss it at the last meeting, and the decision was to appoint Corey Mabus Rowe, myself, and then we're requesting that Danette Buskovic, because Hennepin, the volume and the volume of people within the workload study, that if that's possible and the CSAC approves, that we would like to forward the 3 names for this leadership team.
And just so, Danette was also a member on the RFP selection committee. So she's very familiar with the vendor, and not to mention she's very talented. I mean, I think that should be the marquee for her. But yeah, I know I've worked with Danette with the RFP, and yeah, she's would be a top notch. I mean, I would support that myself.
MacPo is gonna, we had two selected. Steve King will be one of them. Mike McMillan was the next. However, they recently chose to go CCA or voted to go CCA. So I think we have a meeting this Friday. We will vet through that and
Okay.
see if CPO is okay with Mike being on there if they want to appoint somebody else.
Okay.
So I'll let you know next week, Jake.
And just, I mean, we'll confirm with you, Kelly, but I know Carter and myself were the two interested from DOC specifically. So, I mean, we'll confirm that. I mean, we haven't really talked about it, but Carter and I did speak, and I think from our representation, that was who we want to pencil in.
Yeah, I think that's right. And then I thought that Julie Attella
Yes.
was interested from
Yep.
CSAC. I don't remember if there was anyone else from the original group that vetted the RFP that was interested.
And I know Matt has offered, if he said you don't have to put me on, but he'd be open to being a part of that too. So Matt Cook. So I know Matt, we can kind of for any other interest outside of that. I don't know if anybody else from our membership is interested, but so that's eight members, with Julie, Carter, myself, 2 from MacPo, Molly, Corey, from MacAC, Danette. I put Danette and Julie are in a researcher, but also Danette, I mean, from a MacAC perspective too. So we have 8, and then putting Matt Cook in a bucket in another possible bucket.
Is there anyone else from CSAC who was interested in being a part of the workload study sort of leadership team? I mean, that sounds like a pretty good group of folks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to have 10. I mean, I think
No, we
10 was the
don't.
max. So I don't know, I mean, with Matt had offered, I mean, are we comfortable with Matt as well serving? I mean, from an AMC perspective, is that?
Yeah, I didn't talk to him about that, so.
He had said that to
Okay.
me, but I mean, we can verify with Matt, but I know he did mention that he would be open and willing to be a part of that as well. So we can just as a TBD, but as it stands, we'll wait for MacPo to provide their second representative, but 3, 5, 6, and we have eight for sure members, including Julie from CSAC. And then
Jake, this is Ron. Can you tell me which Matt? I didn't catch it.
Matt Cook.
Matt Cook. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Matt Cook has verified that he would be honored to be part of this committee from an AMC perspective.
Okay. That sounds like Matt. So that would put us at 9 members, and I think that's that's a good group.
I do too. Do we need any formal approval, or is this like good enough?
I mean, it would to me this would serve as the subcommittee of
Yeah.
shifting from the RFP to the leadership subcommittee of the RFP.
Have we done any other committees formally?
I don't think, do you remember? Did
I
we
don't
take votes?
believe
I
we
don't
have, we did a
recall
actual
that.
roll
We
call of
just-
it.
I think we just
Consensus.
said, are you interested? I think we just talked about approving subcommittees and then threw anyone who was interested on there.
Yeah, and I mean, they would serve as the workload study subcommittee. We don't have to call them leadership, but that's their role as in the subcommittee to serve as the leadership.
We would just set it up, I assume the feedback loop similar to all the other committees in terms of just where we at and how that information comes back and forth, yeah.
Yep. So maybe within the subcommittee, you can designate somebody to be that point for filling out the update.
Yeah, that'd probably be me. So
Well, I'm giving you the off ramp to
Yeah.
Well,
offer to
we'll
somebody
discuss
else
and delegate. How
who
does that
might
sound?
be
Yeah.
honored.
I
to take
won't,
it
I
on.
won't jump on that.
Matt would be honored. I,
Yeah, Matt might be
I'll
hon-
keep looking at my text to see if.
How
it's-
honored will he be? Yeah. Yeah, so, okay, what I'll do is, and then, once we hear from, MacPo representative, I'll do introductory email, just saying, this is us.
Oh, that's right. So we're still waiting on that one, the one
Yeah.
MacPo rep. Okay.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
And then,
Great.
sorry, did you say out loud, then there's a design committee eventually, once they get up and running?
Correct.
that
There
will get
will be a
more-
design
yeah.
committee for phase 2 of the workload study that will kind of, start lining what we call apples and oranges.
Yeah.
And then specifically, I think the leadership team might have a little bit more to say is, do we count that banana or not?
Right.
And then the workload design team would be saying, what are all the bananas that we have? This is a plantain. Well, we'll call it a banana. Because we call it something different, but it's the same process.
Got it. Thank you.
Nice analogy.
I was
I know.
just gonna say that as well. Well,
I'm always gonna.
I'm usually a baseball, it's always baseball analogy
Yeah,
sometime
right.
with me, but I had to go with food.
I would have thought hockey.
I would have thought so too.
I
in the
never
Wild
played
One
hockey.
last
I
night.
was a wrestler. My kids play hockey though.
Okay, so I think that takes care of the workload study item. Other business, it's your turn.
Other business, we have committee vacancies on there. I see we have Jake next. So do we have some vacancies that we have to fill?
I am pleased to welcome Michelle Frisbee to the Community Supervision Advisory Committee. And Michelle, I think you hail from the Winona area, so I don't know if you're able to introduce yourself and say hi.
Can you hear me, everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure can.
Yep, my name is Michelle Frisbee, and I do live in Rolling Stone, which is really close to Winona in Winona County. And I'm joining the committee as being previously on probation myself. And yeah, with that, I'll pass.
Welcome.
Well, welcome, Michelle. Happy to have
Thank
you here.
Is it Michelle?
Yeah, it's pronounced
Is that
just like
right?
Michelle, only it's
It
Michelle.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Maybe what we'll do is just kind of go through and do introductions for the whole committee, just kind of indicate what your role is on the committee. Maybe start with the people in the room and then we can kind of pass it on to those on the screen. I can start. I'm John Shiro. I am the director of the Waseca County Court Services Department. I am a MacPo or CPO rep on the committee and co-chair.
And welcome, Michelle. We're really excited to have you here. My name is Kelly Mitchell, and I'm Assistant Commissioner of Community Services and Reentry for the Department of Corrections.
Good morning, Michelle, and welcome. Kurt Mortensen, Otter Tail County Commissioner, and here representing the Association of Minnesota Counties, often referred to as AMC.
Good morning. I'm Barb Weckman-Brecky, a Scott County Commissioner, also appointed to be here by the Association of Minnesota Counties.
Jake?
Hi, Michelle. Jake McClellan, Department of Corrections Representative, Regional Manager, overseeing the northern half of our DOC probation and supervised release offices.
Good morning, Becky Bales with Stearns County, one of the community corrections representatives here. And I just want to welcome you, Michelle, and thank you. And we're looking forward to hearing your voice. Glad you're here.
Good morning, Michelle. Molly Bruner. I am the director in Scott County Community Corrections, representing MACAC, co-chair and current president of MACAC.
Perfect. I'll just call those online and we'll just kind of go through, start maybe with Kim.
Welcome, Michelle. My name is Kim, and I am here representing the Live It Experience.
Thank you. Kevin?
Good morning, Kevin Glass, Itasca County Probation Director, and I'm here representing the Evidence-Based Practices Statewide Advisory Committee.
Thank you. Tracy?
Morning, Michelle. My name is Tracy Green. I work for Wabasha County Probation and representing the county probation officers on CSEC.
John? Bream?
Everybody, it's nice to meet you. I'm just gonna probably be sitting back listening. There's a lot to take in. I'm just trying to figure it all out right now.
John, did you hear me? Bream?
John Preem. I'm with the Prairie Island Tribal Police Department and represent the Indian Affairs Council.
Thank you, Ron.
Good morning. My name is Ron Anthony. I'm a Yellow Medicine County Commissioner, and I was appointed as a representative for the Association of Minnesota Counties. And welcome.
Thank you. Becca.
Hi, Becca Muscat. I'm the Associate Director at the Minnesota Alliance on Crime. We're a coalition of victim advocates, so I'm representing the victim perspective.
Thank you. Amber.
I am Amber, and I'm a person with lived experience, and I also am the Executive Director of Black Butterfly Women's Services, an organization that provides housing and resources to formerly incarcerated women. Thank you.
I don't want to forget Don. He's the glue that keeps our committee together. Don.
Hi, I'm Don Click. I support the committee administratively.
Thank you, Don. Michelle, welcome again. So other business, our next meeting will be May 28th. Any other business that
Can we also say for everyone where it's going to be here?
it will be, yep. Will we be here? Is that correct at the Afton Room, DOC? On the 28th, do we know?
As far as I know,
Okay.
as long as CSG is not in person, we will be here.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So if that changes, we'll let everybody know. We'll be hybrid again or virtually and in person, likely in the Afton Room at DOC. So the public comment section was added. We did add that after last time for a couple reasons. I wasn't at the last meeting, but I know there was somebody from the public that presented, and it didn't flow. I think it didn't feel like what I heard flowed for the committee real well. So, and a lot of the other public committees that were on allow for public comment. So we did add that section here. So I'd open it up if there is any public comment. We have to do it 3 times here too.
If anybody of the attendees would like to say anything, just annotate in the chat and I'll unmute you.
We'll give Don a few minutes to see if there's any that noted. Hearing
I
none,
do not see anything.
Thank you, Don. We'll close public comment and hand it over to Molly for closing.
I just wanted to, I guess we kind of covered it really. Thanks everyone for all the work that you're doing on all the subcommittees and attending here. Again, really happy to have you, Michelle. Oh, Amber, I see you unmuted, not to put you on the spot, but did you have something?
Yes, could you let me know the date of the next meeting one more time and the location so I can write it down now? I'm sorry, I came to the wrong place.
No, you're in
This
beautiful
time.
Scott County right now, and I'm glad that my staff could help you find a room. So
Thank you.
I apologize for any confusion on that. So the date is May 28th, and we are pretty confident it is here at the Department of Corrections. I don't know the address off the top, but
I can give you that. It's 1450, so 1450 Energy Park Drive, St.
Okay.
Paul. And it's a triangle building, so you have to find the west entrance to get to the right place. And it
Okay.
says west on the outside, so as you're driving around the building, park by the west entrance and come in, and then the meeting room's on the ground floor just to your right.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
you're welcome.
All right.
And so with that, I would look, unless there's any more questions or comments, I would look for, we don't have to do that. I always do that at the end. I'll pause for one more moment. Otherwise, we can adjourn. So that was
It's a short meeting today, I think, folks, because our subcommittees are doing a ton of work.
Yeah.
So just, know that in a month or two, these meetings will be packed. Next month might still be a little lighter, but that's because our subcommittees are doing a ton of work.
looks like Michelle, you have a question or comment?
I was just wondering if there was anything I could do to get involved with any committee work or help with anything else that might be needed.
Well, absolutely. I think one of the things that might be helpful, and I offer this to anyone, that's newer to the committee. So I'm looking kind of at Amber, at least online, and we can reach out. We could also touch base or have coffee or explain some of the subcommittees and then your interests perhaps and what you like. So it's a kind of a two-way street. What are you most interested in? Maybe as it has to do with probation, community supervision, supervisor release, any of that. And maybe find a spot that you feel like is a good fit, if that is something you're open to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the chairs and maybe through Don can send something out and coordinate with a group of us that maybe just want to get together over coffee and walk through some of this. I know it's a lot when you're in the system and come to something like this. So all the terminology and acronyms, et cetera. So we would love to be able to slow it down and have some conversations about that and figure out, again, where you might want to spend some more time.
Yeah, I'm open to whenever.
It can also be virtual if need be, but yeah.
And that's a great comment, Molly, because, and I'll encourage, reach out if you ever have questions, because when we go to our directors group meeting, we have directors that our directors of probation departments aren't here, but they ask, they're confused on the whole process sometimes too. So really walking it through them is helpful. So I can just understand, how you come into this and it's just overwhelming. So please ask questions. Yeah.
And thank you for offering and asking. That's great. That's why we're really excited to have you here.
Yeah, my information should be in the email, and if anybody wants to reach out with me so that we can talk about some stuff, it'd be great. It'd be helpful to me.
All right, thank you. If there's nothing else, then I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you.
See everyone.